Hi folks. One of my favourite painters, I did a sort of pastiche of Roland Hilda. I've got a lot of stuff on him. He used to, well he's dead now, but he died earlier in this century. But every year he made a calendar, and mostly of Kent scenes, because that's where he was based. They're very, very evocative. They're beautiful paintings. And he used a lot of black and burnt sienna. And here, I'll show you this one. It's copyright, but I don't suppose it bothers. Wonderful. The Oast houses are. Let's put that aside. I've got another one. Are sort of, well they're most now, they are cottages, holiday homes and dwelling places. They're lovely, highly des res. But in Roland Hilda's day, in the last century, I think they were used quite late to dry hops for beer. But Kent was the hop growing area in the Garden of England. That's his name, the Garden of England, and the hops. And a lot of people from East London would get ferried one way or the other down to the hop farms during the summer for 6 weeks, while the kids were on school holiday, and would spend their summer holidays there picking hops, and generally just enjoying the wonderful Kent countryside. So. Now, my friend got this book as a presentation when he left, one of his presents, when he left school in Epsom. He'd retired at 55. It was a church school, junior school. And he came up, he was given this lovely book on Roland Hilda. It's just superb. I'm not going to copy, but I'll pinch his ideas, and we all do. But probably the Oast houses that he worked on are still there. So anybody's. Oh, but I've done many of these in the past, and I've just made them up. But I thought, since he seems to be vogue at the moment with some friends on YouTube, I'll add my little bit. These trees here are sort of a balance to the house, and he's very clever in all this. Another great painter or watercolourist in the style of Roland Hilda is the late Isabel Castle. Fabulous artist. She went to art school. I knew her. I've known her for 40 years. I knew her 40 years ago. And she found her niche with doing the Kent scenes based on Roland Hilda. Wonderful, wonderful artist, and sadly missed. Anything else? Oh yes, what Roland Hilda did a lot of, he used black, and he would black out all the shadow areas of his of the barns. And here we're doing a snow scene, so you can put in some bits of black or Payne's grey in my case, here and there, just because when you get the paint on, it contrasts with the black, and it lowers the tone or the intensity of it. And I hope I can demonstrate that. Right, I'll do my sky. So the first thing is to take the paints out of this. I bought 5 of these. They're better than the previous ones, which were a bit stiff. Well, but they weren't made to hold watercolour palettes. Let's put it on there. I don't want to put it on the paper because it might have some paint on the back of it. I've just got a piece of towel in it. There we are. A piece of towel, but it's got a lovely, nice, easy zip with a towel on it. So look, the other ones they just wore out because they would sort of come unstuck, so to speak. So we put that there. Also, with Roland Hilda, of the calendars I managed to salvage from various people, I cut them all out of the calendar. So I've got about 40 or 50 paintings he did for those series of calendars. Got a cup of tea here. It's a very dull day. It's raining now, pretty cold, about 5 or 6 degrees. It's going to get a bit warmer today, about 8 degrees, in London anyway. So the first thing to do is to wet the paper. I'm going to do this one, but you've got to put your burnt sienna in, or your raw sienna. I can mix a bit of burnt sienna with that. Plenty of water. And just, no, what I'm going to do first is to put in the black areas, or the Payne's grey areas. We'll go back to that. So we'll use this as an ink. We'll just put it in, and we'll just it's a lovely way of painting. People shy away from, or the purists, shy away from black. A bit of warm in there, put a bit of burnt sienna. That's how to make it darker. Okay, now we've got to decide where the light is coming from. So the light, let's say the light's coming from that way, so that will be the darker area. So what I'll do is just wet the Oast house. I haven't put the funnel on it. Some while ago, on one of our architectural programs, I think might have been on Channel 4, Channel 5, about a renovation of one of these, and they had to take the cowl off, and when they're up there, it's huge. You wouldn't believe it. It's about 8 foot tall, 10 foot tall. They're very big, because they're drying sheds really, made of brick mostly, or wood, some wood. Drying sheds for the oasts, for the hops. So let's just get a bit of burnt sienna on my side there. And just let that noodle across. Just touch it with a bit of water. Then just go across, and we can put a little bit more of that Payne's grey in. You can try black. So I'll give that shadow. Go on there. That's not quite worked, because I'm not tilting the board. I'll put a bit more of the black in there, so let's... And we'll put some snow slipping down the roofs. Quite a tricky manoeuvre, that. Could try putting rafters in on these sort of things. Oh, it's raining now. So a bit of snow melt on there. We can have a bit of red or burnt sienna for the some roofs that might be showing, the rafters or the tiles will be showing. And if you leave this quite light, the side here, I'll put a door in there. Okay, we leave that, we can detail that a bit later. And last. Okay, don't think he ever bothered to use gouache. So that's the basics. Now we put our trees in. No, we won't put our trees in because if I wash over the trees it'll just weaken them. We'll put them in later. Okay, I'm going to give that a dry. So take your headphones off, folks. Ready, steady, go. Got to put a bit of detail around these bits here, light blue or something like that. But we'll get that sky wash in now. And I'll work around the stuff, all the we'll put a darker wash in as well over this. I normally put a coat of clean water over the whole thing first, but that didn't sort of happen. So be careful here. Get rid of those hairs. Come on. Put a bit of that Payne's grey just over. It will all dry. Just using the Payne's grey over that lovely wash of warm siennas. Right, okay, that'll do. So let's get that in there. Bit shaky there. Right, okay, we'll give that a dry. So headphones off, go. Okay. Right, now that's fairly dry. We've got what we've got to do now is a bit of texture on these trees here. And we'll work forward. We've got a bit of a ploughed field there. I have nicked this from the book, and I'll use. I'm going to use a rigger now. Just get those in. So, a bit of burnt sienna and a bit of Payne's grey, which it's just a super mix. More dark in there. Just a winter ploughing. Okay, that'll do. We can wash over that with a bit of something when it's dry. Here we go with the trees, just Payne's grey and a bit of the burnt sienna. lovely brush. This is Frank Clark rigger. Bought the set. It's absolutely beautiful. Beautiful brush to use. It's just a bit on behind. Oh, that'll do for that. We won't make it too stark, but let's have one coming off from there. That'll do. We'll do this other one over here. A bit more body in that. Go on, you're in the rain. Now I've got to have to drink my tea. What I'm going to try and do later is just to show how Roland would put the balloons, or to show the shape of the trees. And the one I showed you, it was leafless, but I might as well kill two birds with one stone. So let's get very gnarled. Coming down now. I'm supposed to be going on my bike ride this morning. I don't know if my mates did. I was left about a little gang of merry men. Because I damaged all the ligaments at the back of my knee. So I'm no good for anything at the moment. A bit of a mess of that, but never mind. I'm a very rough painter, as you know. Okay, that'll do. We'll give that a try, clean the brush, give that a dry, and then I'm going to use a sable. I don't usually do this, but I do have some sables. Yeah, I overstretched my leg, my right leg, climbing over something, and I stretched it too far, all the way on the back of it, the ligaments or tendons in the back of my knee. So I'm very happy about that. Now I'll give it a wet, and we want a bit of let's have a bit of colour. I'll do, and then we'll just. No, just use the roughness of the paper to put a shape on there. Very, very delicate. So this one. Oh, now we've got to do a warmer one for these here. This paper is a £200 Saunders Waterford cold pressed. It's £140. That was because I'd hoped that. I'll put some more filigree in that one. But Roland Hilda was a wonderful, wonderful painter. What we'll do, we've got a bit of Payne's grey. I'll tell you what I've got. I've got a box of these. Half a dozen. A friend of ours who died sadly a couple of years ago. His partner gave me all her art materials a while ago. His hobby was making lead soldiers, and painting them exact, and he used these sort of brushes. Lovely, lovely man. Right, let's just put something here. Let's I think it's better with a bit of burnt sienna. It gives them a bit more intensity. Alright, okay, I was going to do that. I'll do that in a minute. Don't know if it's worth trying to put a bit of shadow under there, just to show the thickness of the snow overhanging the roof. Got to put that there. Okay. Right. Okay. Let me just do a little bit of this. Right, the light's coming that way. So what we'll do, we've still got to. We've got to do some bit of white and a bit of shadowy blue. Go back to my other brush. Paint grey, bit of blue, bit of water. Leave some white around these bits. Okay, that'll do. We'll put some red in there later. Show the colour of the roof under it. That's a bit of a mess there, isn't it? Well, I'll give that a dry, so just take your headphones off, we'll mute your sound. Go. Don't usually work as fine as this. Let's get some of the burnt sienna, paint grey, and we'll just paint into that. Just tone it down a bit. I made a bit of a mess of it. Okay, right, now we're going to put some shadow in. There's my sable. We'll use a bit of blue, ultramarine blue and a bit of Payne's grey. Plenty of water. It doesn't look like ultramarine, does it? It's more like Prussian blue. I don't know about that, I might have put out the wrong colour. Bit of red. Oh, it's sort of late afternoon. Oh, we can put a bit of dark in there. Too dark. Right, okay, some more, a bit of burnt sienna over this, just straight. Roland Hilda got his bits much finer than me. Alright, I'll just try that. So headphones off. And we'll put some trees in this bit, I think, just to balance it out a bit. Because lots of apple orchards and all sorts in here. We won't do everything in, just a few. Just put a bit of shadow in there. And that's changed, isn't it? That's colour's changed there. Perhaps I shouldn't have done that. Alright, let's put in these colours, it might help it. Oops, with a bit of water. Paint over some of them. Using the edge of the brush. Do the same behind there. We'll do the same here. So it's nothing like a Roland Hilda, it's not a copy, it's just based on an idea of his. I've got to put the filigree in, and I just want to do those bits of burnt sienna in the roof. Oh, that'll do. We'll try that. We'll. Oh, I know. Let's put a little bit. Let's push our luck. See, that's the shape, or more or less. That took me a long time to master. And that's without all the other stuff. Right, headphones off. Go. Right, okay, I'm going to use this little brush, I think, for the Payne's Grey and the burnt sienna. I'm really not sure about that ultramarine. Oh, it's going down now. But no snow, thankfully. You don't have to show all the chunks, you can just do a few bits. And the brain will tell you that. Not that up, didn't I? The brain sort of connects the dots. Lost it in there. Probably trying to elaborate too much. Right, well I might, I could just truncate that. Alright, let's put a few fence posts. That. Well, I'll have a look at that and see what it looks like. Just wondering how I can show a bit of texture going around there. Probably to the blue and the red. Right, okay, well we won't ruin that anymore. Torture it to death. So I've got a small one. I have actually. It was better without that tree in there. So there's one. So one picture. Let's try 2 pictures. Well, it's probably better, but that is, it just turned out to be a mess. But the idea is the use of a very dark colour, black, grey, dark grey. You make it darker by adding burnt sienna to it. That's the Payne's grey. Well, I hope you like it. Sorry about this bit. Don't really need any more fence, but I think we will put some more fence posts in, because we've got this sort of pathway through here. It doesn't mean anything. So let's clean the brush, get the rigger. Burnt sienna, Payne's grey. Well, that gives us somewhere to go, doesn't it? I'll dry that off. I just want to put some shadows being cast there, so headphones off again. It's a very delicate sky, isn't it? I'll look at it. Okay, well we'll let that go. I'll give it a signature. I think it's probably just about worth it. Answers on a postcard. Right, got to have your birching. Right, I'll do something like this again. Okay. Right, okay, let's, what have we done? So we put in 2 washes, we put in a raw sienna with a bit of burnt sienna. Forgot to drink the tea. Oh, horrible. Cold tea. So we've only used 1, 2, 3, 4 colours really. Payne's grey, burnt sienna, raw sienna, bit of blue. That's about it really. You don't need a lot of colours. Anyway, bye for now.